Hello, this is Maggie, and this is part 2 of practicing listening to beats. I will share part 1 in the description below. So now we're actually going to tune. Let's see. Let's start with an octave. I have my little handy dandy weight here. I made a video of how to make these, but I think I've come up with another design that might be better, but I haven't tried yet. But I'll put that that video in the description below as well. So in the last video about listening to beats, I talked about playing intervals and just listening. Now we're going to actually tune. So I'm working between C3 and C5. Let's tune some octaves. So the goal here is to tune this octave pure at the second coincident partial. If you don't know what I mean, I'm going to put some videos in the description that will explain all of this. But we're going to use a major third below. That's very close. Right now it's a tad narrow. This is a little slow. I'm going to lower my check note just a hair. Now what you can do is play the octave and then move your tune note, whichever one it is. That's actually pretty close. But I like to have this weight. So now let's compare them again. It's still a little slow. I'm just going to do it the octave way. That's pretty close. So the goal is to go through and tune all the octaves until you hit C5 as 4 to 2 octaves. The goal is to make it equal. Now, do we make them equal everywhere when we tune a piano? No, this is an exercise. And the reason we're going to make them equal is because it's way harder to make them equal beating than to say a little faster or a little slower, because then you have too much wiggle room. We want to pigeonhole ourselves and make it just a little challenging. So once you've tuned all these octaves to 4 to 2 octaves, meaning the second coincident partial, you're going to retune them again at the third coincident partial. And the measurement for that is here. Now I'm of course narrow at the second coincident partial. And if you don't know why, look at the videos in the description. So I'm going to make these equal beating. So that's pretty close. And then you go and you do that with all the octaves up to C5. I'm not going to do that here. You can do that. Then you go back and tune all the fifths. So you're going to have a lot more intervals to tune because we're starting lower here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 extra notes. And you're going to tune them equal beating, pure at the first coincident partial. So I'm going to go down here. Just slightly narrow. I think I went too far. Oh no, I didn't. It's still a hair narrow, but it's very close. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, once again, everything's going to be in the description. And you tune all the fifths all the way up to C5, pure at the first coincident partial. Then you go back and you tune them again. But this time you're going to tune them pure at the second coincident partial. So I'm just going to stay on this first fifth. You don't need your weight now because we're back to the minor third in the bottom. That's definitely narrow. So I'm going to raise my G. Whoops. Still a little slow. Come on. It's gonna jump. That's so close. It's so close. It's just a hair narrow, so I might fight with it, I might not. But anyway, you tune all the fifths. It's pure at the second coincident partial, meaning both of your check intervals are equal beating. Lastly, you do that with fourths. So I'm going to move my lever to F now. And if you really want to practice this well, you can do it twice. Once where the top note is your tune note, and again where the bottom note is your tune note. And you might want to work from top down just to keep your orientation. So let's see, because you're going to be overlapping yourself if you go up with the bottom note being tuned. But it doesn't matter. You know, it's whatever you want. Because we're not tuning. We're literally detuning our piano right now. So measuring a fourth. And that is slightly wide, which is what you normally want, but we're tuning these pure. Actually, I take it back. Let me get it out of tune. There, now it's really, really wide. There, now you can really hear it. So I'm going to slow this down. Whoops. I'm going to lower this again, just a hair. No, I'm not. I'm almost there. I'm hearing, when my head's over here, I'm hearing the wrong coincident partial. I can hear it over here. Oh, that reminds me. I'll come back to this. I'm glad I said that. Okay, so we're pure at the first coincident partial. You do that with all your fourths. What I forgot to mention, and I'm glad I had a little trouble, is you can ghost these if you have trouble hearing them. The ghost note is the coincident partial, which is always 2 octaves and a major third above the check note. So if this is my check note for a fourth, there's my ghost note. I can ghost this. Now let's see how good I did, because we're going to really hear it now. So I did pretty good. So that's good. Your ghost note needs to be close to in tune. It doesn't have to be exact, but it has to be close enough to activate the coincident partial. I say this because I detune my piano all the time, and I actually got my mid-range so far out compared to my treble, because frankly the weather changed. The treble went, what did it do? It should have gone flat, but I feel like it went sharp, so I don't know what happened. But my treble was so far out of tune compared to my mid-range that I had to retune my treble so I could ghost. So this is the second exercise for practicing hearing beats before you learn to tune. If you have any questions, let me know. Check the description for explanations of everything I've just done. And keep practicing. Happy tuning. Bye-bye.